Hello, this is Shawn from S&K on the Road. Coming to you today with a little different video. It's about RV Internet. We've been camping for a good while now and know that RV internet while camping can be a challenge. We do camp to get away. However, we live in a connected life. We need it. We do. Obviously, YouTube's. Kathy has her own YouTube channels. It's become part of necessity of life, and there are a lot of options out there. There's Starlink. It's pricey. It's got the equipment. We haven't gone down that road yet. It can be affordable if you're willing to limit your gigabytes, or only use it when you need it. But see, there's where we use what we have in cellular as a backup for home. So I work from home yet, and we use it sometimes when our home internet has issues. There's campground Wi-Fi, and I got to chuckle because 9 out of 10 campgrounds they say they have internet, but yeah. Maybe you can download an email that doesn't have any pictures, but most of the time, now, I shouldn't say they're getting better. Just kind of like, I guess, they're heading down the roads of hotels, when hotels were back in the day, and now they're better. So, yeah, they're getting there, but yeah, for the most part, most campgrounds, no. So that brings us to cellular, and that's our sweet spot. And how we want to take advantage. We bought this new trailer. It has the Winegard 360, Winegard Air 360 plus 5G antenna already came on it. So they want to sell you a modem that goes with it. However, and then their monthly charges for internet are a little pricey. However, we use a different kind of internet, Calyx Internet, Calyx Institute. You do one donation a year. I think you can do it in quarters now. And it makes it so that's about $41 a month. And then that's, like I said, that's going to take the whole year. But we use it for home backup and use it a little here at home too. So if you want to check it out, and if you want it, we'll leave the QR code on the video here. If you do go with it and use our referral code, use the QR code or the referral code, you can get one extra month, and then we get one extra month too. So please do that if you'd like to do it. Also, with them, originally we had a hotspot that we got through them, which worked great. Picked up a lot. However, they're going to this BYOB, bring your own device, BYOD, bring your own device, and that enables us to buy a fancy hotspot. I bought a Netgear Nighthawk M6. I know there's a Pro out there. It's a little better, but for us, the M6 will be great. So now we're going to merge these two. I want to hook those Winegard Wi-Fi, they're 5G, not Wi-Fi, cellular antennas to our new hotspot and to use them to improve signal strength, improve areas we will receive signal. This is going to show you how I've hooked it up, and then we will let you know how it's working in the future. So let's get right to it, and we'll cut over to that video. So, as promised, we're coming to you with a video about hooking up our antenna on the roof of our RV to a hotspot we purchased. So here I'm investigating the wiring. There was 4 antenna wires for cellular, 1 for Wi-Fi, and then there's a 12 volt cable. I just did some investigation here because I wanted to see what I needed to do, and I wanted to make sure everything was there. So yeah, both positive and negative 12 volt were there, and then 2 yellow, 2 green wires. So there they are. The red one is for Wi-Fi. The yellows and greens are for cellular. So I went back to the house then, which we'll get to, and you can see that wire there that's still wrapped up. That was for 12 volt power. It's actually a pretty thick wire for the 12 volt going into there. It's pretty impressed. So the green and the yellow, the difference between them is the orientation on top of the RV. One's goes lengthways and the other width. So you want to choose one of each if you're only using 2 versus the 4. So here you can see I printed 3 prints from my 3D printer to make a little box, a cover, and then a place for the thing to mount. I purchased a USB, since USB cigarette lighter looking thing. When I printed, I made the hole for it, and then that link will be in the description. So that'll take the 12 volt to a USB. The 5 volt 2 amp is what was specified on the brick for it. The little switch, I had that switch. It's one of those small switches you buy for a project, and you get like a bag of them. So I had that around. You can see I attached wires to each of these. And then I got a small USB to USB-C pigtail. So the concept is the wires will come out and go to the front. You can see the Netgear has 2 antenna ports and a USB-C. Yeah, the wires will come out of there. That'll be on the roof. Come over to where the thing will lay. Once I get the power and the wires through, I'll go ahead and put that cover on. And then I'll put the holder. So I left holes there to mount it on the roof. And then I'll mount this, what I've been calling the modem holder, I guess hotspot holder. And then the hotspot, I'll be able to plug it in and slide it in there. And we'll be all ready to go. So it took a little work making these files. I'll use those screws that are self-tapping screws for mounting it and putting it together. I'll be using those same screws. I think I used about 14 screws or something between putting it together. So here again, I'm back in the trailer. I open things up. I'm checking the wires. Seen them all. Now here I have to break them loose. They had them all connected to that little cover they had on the inside. So things, hey, it's working on things. Now I made sure first I checked polarity, and then after you pull the fuse, you still want to make sure, because these I've had some situations in RV. So the power's off, and I can go ahead and install the first piece. You got to run the wires down the hole. And this is pretty light, so I mounted it right to the ceiling. Not a problem. Even that little cover they had on there was just a couple of really small, lightweight screws. I was kind of surprised it was so lightweight. It really kind of, it was easy. I mean, they grab pretty good when you are tightening them down. Like you'll see, I'll be using a driver. So when I am tightening them down, I did want to take my time. I didn't just wail away at it. I wanted to make it snug, but not over tighten, obviously, and strip them out. But this part went rather well. Of course, I pre-started the screws, so they're already there. It's a matter of putting them in. So then, yeah, when I got it mounted, next thing I did was hook the power up. I did have a little issues hooking the power up. I thought I'd be able to use those WIGO connectors, but it's two different size wires, and I just wasn't comfortable. I could get it to connect up, but it didn't seem solid connection. So I went ahead and did the old-fashioned wire nuts, uh, and it went pretty good there. Sorry about it. It looks like I'm talking, but I'm bringing it up. Here you can see once I got the power hooked up, you can see I have power to the USB port, and then I can shut it off. And there you go. I was very pleased with that. I have one yellow, one green hanging out there. So with that on, then I was going to put the cover on. Printed it with a little 5G thing on top of it to make it fancy schmancy. Of course, the future will be 6G, 7G, who knows where it will end. But right now, 5G is all the rage. And it is good speed. So, yeah, they, I freaking smile at the camera. I am not used to working in front of a camera. I did pre-drill some pilot holes on the base there to make sure it go right in. The holes on the top, I 3D printed that it was already had the holes, so we we're good to go with that. Next, I brought in the holder for the hotspot. I kept calling them modem router, but it's really a hotspot. So I am the one tab you might see is a little shaky there, or it's going, and I am reprinting another base. I think I'll be putting on future, and I made the holes better and things like that. So I'm pre-starting the screws. I'm putting it up there. Yeah, I mean, kind of went together pretty quick for me, I felt. I'd already pre-started the screw on the other side. Of course, I had to find my driver. But anyway, yeah, it went pretty good. I mean, these last 3 screws are it then. I think it's 14 screws. I think it's only like 10 screws, something like that, really. So now it's all up. Now once the screws, yeah, it's all up. It's a matter of just hooking up the hotspot, trying it out, running some things. So take you up, you can see. Sorry about the camera work. I'm not used to the camera work yet. But yeah, you can see, and then little resting place. I do not plan on traveling with this in place. I plan on bringing it down so it's not going to bump down the road there. So, and there's my on-off button. So these are special adapters. Really, and I'll put them in the links below. Really, it's 2 adapters going, and I don't recall the exact lettering, but they go from what's coming out of the Winegard to each antenna wire, and then it'll plug right into the back of the Netgear. I think those are ST9s in the back of the Netgear, the ST9 antennas. So they clip right on. It really went kind of pretty easy. And like I said, the links below. And then the router, you can see, I specifically went with this modem or hotspot, or hotspot, because it has the ports and able to do it. And it has that if you go without the battery. Now this has a battery management system, so I can just leave it plugged in. But I can go without the battery, and it says it'll even perform better. without the battery, and then I wouldn't even worry about the battery at all. However, I need to have a USB-C port on that, which I may upgrade to. So, yeah, so it can supply a little more wattage to it. There is one thing I didn't mention. Between the switch and the, what's it called? The USB port, there is a fuse. I put a fuse in there so that when you turn it on, you do have some protection right there in that little box. You can see the units turning on once I got it plugged in. And then I'm going to run some speed tests. You're going to see, which is nice. It starts up. It takes a little bit to start up, but here you can see those results of some of the speed tests. That is a result of the speed test without it plugged in. So it was significantly better. There's also an app here that for the Netgear. The nice thing about this app is you can do things like start up, shut down the hotspot. You can, even reboot it. So I don't have to be up there looking at it all the time. I can see the results, what's going on. You can see the network. You can see different things in this app versus having to pull it out of there like you were seeing I was doing to look at things, where I can look at it right on the app on the phone. Here I'm going to do a speed test again. And yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm to the moon how well this worked versus when I was in the trailer and when the unit was down where we normally had it on an end table, the dining, it's just performed so much better. I mean, you're talking these kind of speeds. Yeah, I mean, I have up to 300 in my house, and and even the upload speeds here are better than what I have in my house. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I know it went a little long, but there's a lot to it. Remember, I'm just a DIYer. I'm not a professional at anything. So whatever your comments, I'm eager to hear them. Please comment how you guys are doing it, or if you're utilizing this antenna, how you're utilizing it, or even if you have the Winegard stuff. I mean, I hear it's okay. It's pretty good. So let me know how it's working out for you. Please remember to like and subscribe. And that's all we have for today. I really appreciate you listening in. And God bless. Thank you.